Hi, I'm here to share another part of mindful awareness. And this time I'm going to talk about things that obstruct or get in the way of our mindful awareness practice, things that assist, and how we can build our ownership of it, not in a sense that it is our practice, more in a sense of as we're choosing, how do we become more skillful by making choices and committing to different ways of responding. I'm going to go ahead and put up the list and take us through this part. Hope this is helpful for you again as you become more skillful in these practices and observe what happens because of that. The hindrances first. Sensual desire is one. Things might come up like in the prior video, I talked about a piece of chocolate cake and how our mouth waters and we're thinking about chocolate cake and how we just want to stop sitting or whatever we're doing as a meditation and just go eat that chocolate cake. It could be about a person, it could be about we can't wait to have that massage, or we're down the rabbit hole thinking about whatever it is, and then we realize that that sensual desire has obstructed us from being aware of our object, and then it can become an object, or we can go back to our object, maybe the breath, maybe a body scan or the senses, whatever. Okay. So essential desire could obstruct and becoming aware of it and then responding skillfully. Anger or ill will is a big one. One of the things that cause us suffering is living in the past. One of them is living in the future. Living in the past is where the anger comes from and ill will. There's often not too much we can do about past experiences. We can observe how they make us feel and gain insight from that. Sloth and torpor, which is low energy, is something that can obstruct. I spent about the first 2.5 years during my mindful awareness practice in a chair, oftentimes falling asleep. And I'll show you why. I have been doing this entire series of videos sitting in a chair, but I have not had my back against the back. For one, because it allows me to breathe clearly and it allows my energy to flow as I'm talking to you. I want to make sure that my lungs can move the words out. What I've learned is that sitting with the spine supporting the body instead of with the body against the back of a chair keeps us alert and keeps our breath flowing. It may cause, honestly, it may cause some body aches, which could be something to observe. Mainly, the thing to remember is that we don't want to get to a state where we're sleepy like I was for the first 2.5 years, and we are getting more benefit because we are able to practice observation, mindful awareness. Restlessness, remorse, again, restlessness could be about wanting to get up and do something else, to eat breakfast, to whatever it is, to get to work. Then we have remorse. And I've already talked about that anger or remorse are things that are causing us suffering because they happened in the past. We can observe how they feel. We can make amends in the present if we choose to, or we can communicate in the present. But what happened in the past is in the past. And we suffer by living in the past or trying to live in the past or live in the future. We become more at ease when we are in the present in mindful awareness. And this is something that can be done short times, many times, all through the day. We're out in the car, somebody says something rude to us, or they're running up behind and they're honking and they're, maybe they have an emergency, maybe they're going to the hospital. Who knows? The main thing is that we observe how it makes us feel instead of reacting. And skeptical doubt is a huge, huge obstruction. We doubt ourselves. We doubt we can be mindfully aware. We doubt we can succeed in this, that, or the other thing. These things come up all the time. And to be honest, in my life, I've dealt with a lot of self doubt, skeptical doubt. It's been very toxic to my ease, my calm, my happiness, and perhaps even has obstructed my goals of what I wanted to accomplish. So let's move on to the strengths: faith, that we are on the path that we are supposed to be on, that we are learning what we're supposed to be learning, that we are capable of doing or being what we want to be or doing what we want to do. Energy, as we are building our inner resource skills, doing it with a sense of energy, not urgency. And even the observation mode, the awareness mode that we are cultivating, if we put too much into it, if we really grind into observation, it can be quite tiring. So it's energy at different levels. Energy in observation might be a light energy, energy in sitting and observing how the body feels can be light, and it could diminish some of the things that are going on in the body. So just energy, but being committed to energy and showing up for it. Mindfulness, of course, helps. Mindfulness or awareness. These are all things that are strengths. Concentration will help, and wisdom, honoring what we observe and the insights we gain from the observations, honoring our connection with the people that have practiced before us and how we are benefiting. I believe those are the types of wisdom that have been helpful to me. Things to prepare as we're moving down. I like to try and set a place and a time. For me, the best time for mindful awareness practices is right after I wake up because the mind is less busy. There'll be less time for the mind to wake up and begin thinking. I like an early time, it seems to work. And a place where I can sit comfortably, but I can also sit with awareness and be alert and have my spine supporting the body. If we are laying down, I prefer to sit or walk, but laying down, if we have our arm out at imagine that my back now is laying against the ground. If we have our arm out with our hand up, because we are laying down, the beta waves in the brain might start. It might tell us, this is sleep mode. I'm going to sleep now. Well, the hand is up, and then when we are in awareness, that's fine. But then when the body begins to get tired, it flops, it falls down, and then we come back up when we're back in awareness. So this is how to practice mindful awareness while laying down. The main thing is to set things up that support our opportunities to build our skills, keep us in a state where we are able to do that without falling asleep, among other things. Intention setting and dedication are beautiful parts of the practice. When we start a mindful awareness practice, we want to start off with an intention like what we do hopefully will benefit all living beings, benefit us, benefit our families, benefit our communities, benefit the entire world, benefit all living beings. We say all sentient beings. Sentient being means beings that are aware that they are alive, from an ant to a giraffe or a whale. I like to do that. Just it gives me a good intention to start with, and then the practice. And hopefully, as we're practicing, we're developing our inner resource skills, and that'll influence how we respond to people. And then it'll ripple out how they respond to people. And on an energetic level, it'll ripple out as well. After practice, it's beautiful also to dedicate the merit of the practice, the good that's been cultivated in the practice to our connection with all living beings. That's a beautiful part. Finally, I want to share about mindful awareness practices being an inside job. What does that mean? It means that different practices seem to come more naturally to different people. For instance, as a Tai Chi and Qigong instructor, when I was trained, as I was going through my medical treatments, I had that physical movement practice, and I was able to adapt some of the mindful awareness practices I learned while sitting. For instance, a thought arising, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. As I translate that to Tai Chi and Qigong and I'm moving through, there's a beginning and middle and end to each movement. For instance, now as I'm raising my hand up, there's a beginning, middle, and end, and I'm experiencing how it feels in the body. And I'm reaching over and I'm bringing my neck back. And for each part, I can be feeling the beginning, middle, and end of it. I'm going to do that on the other side. It felt so good. Come up with the hand and beginning, middle, and end. So that's a practice that worked for me. As you are exploring the different types of practices I'm going to talk about in the next video, I want you to find what seems to benefit and help naturally. The ones that don't are also good to explore because then we can explore our feelings about them. We can explore how the feelings unpack in the body, or we can just become more skillful at something that we're not so skillful at in the beginning. All those are benefits. But whatever it is for you and whatever works for you in a mindful awareness practice, I encourage you to be with that, but also to discover what you can learn by ones that aren't. I've got some getting out of your head mindful awareness practices, examples of the different types in the list of mindful awareness practices that I've assembled that you will be able to work with and hopefully you will choose to journal on afterwards so you can again gain insights. It's on a thinking level, but it will come to your mindful awareness observation practice and benefits you. So it's not that thinking can't benefit mindful awareness, it's just different. It's not that mindful awareness observation can't benefit thinking, it's just different. When I started mindful awareness practices, it was something that I really needed and I benefited from. So I'm thankful that I did it. But what made it work, what made it possible for me to be out 7 years and still doing mindful awareness practices, a lot of sitting mindful awareness, a lot of moving mindful awareness, even walking mindful awareness, moment by moment, short times, many times, out on the street, my my responses, my reactions, mindful awareness. This is because I committed to sit for 40 days and it worked. So it's an inside job. Finding out if it helps, if it works for you, is how you will unpack it, roll it out, if it is the right time for you to be doing this. I hope it is.